Welcome back to another episode of Awakening TV for Awakening to Your Story's Weekly Love. I'm heart expert and the author of the book Awakening to Your Story, Alicia Hartzell. I am so glad to be here with you today. I got an email about some of the things that we've been working on in these videos and in social media, and I cannot wait to bring it to you. So the question that we're going to look at today is, I really like your analogy of the beach and repatterning your thoughts. Having that picture in my head made it really easy and helpful to consciously choose. I actually make jokes with my girlfriends now about going to the Pina Colada beach. Sometimes I end up on the jellyfish beach and I don't know how I got there. Can you help me understand why? Hallelujah! People are getting it and they're sharing it with their friends. This makes me so happy. So the analogy that she's talking about is when you're repatterning your thoughts. I came up with this analogy because I was trying so desperately to get some of my clients to understand the exercises that you do in your growth of capacity of heart, right? As you're kind of shifting and changing and rebuilding your truth and coming back home to your essential truth, you're gonna have to create ownership for things that you maybe don't have right away, right? And so the analogy goes like this. You have an old pattern of belief that you've had for a really long time, right? It was something that was handed down to you from who knows who knows when, right? This limiting belief. And it's come up within your system, within your story, and you've started to deal with it and interact with it and get curious about it and utilize it so that you can figure out what the limiting belief actually is, and then come back home to the essential truth that corresponds with that limiting belief, right? So think of it like this. Think of it like you're on the dunes going towards the beach, right? This is where the grass kind of grows up in the sand. You can smell the salt air. And there is a path that is dug into the sand, right? The white sand is popping up through the green grass and it leads you to a beach. This original path is the path in your mind, the neural pathways actually that go along the ruts in your brain that go along with that limiting belief. A situation happens, it ignites that belief, you walk down that path and you end up at the beach. The problem that happens when it's associated with a limiting belief is that it takes you to a jellyfish beach. This beach is full of jellyfish and sharks, and there's no umbrellas, and you end up sunburnt, and the whole experience is just crappy. There's tar on the beach. You kind of want to get the heck out of there, right? It's not pleasurable. Yeah, it may be a beach, but right? What you're trying to do is create an ownership for your essential truth. And that pattern of belief is new, maybe, right? Like you haven't walked down it many, many times. You may, in the ownership of creating your information and shifting your pattern of belief, you may have started to walk down that path. Maybe 5 or 6 times you created ownership in that place. And so you're kind of stepping on the grass and building up the belief that that is true. But sometimes when you get stuck in a situation and your essential truth has not completely beaten down that path yet, you're going to accidentally choose the one that's more typical, the one that is easy to see, right? And so your job is to walk down the path that leads you to the Pina Colada beach, right? There are umbrellas and hammocks and the water is clear. You can see for miles. You can't wait to dip into that clean, fresh ocean water. It's amazing, right? It's joyful and it's happy and it's positive. That's your pathway to your essential truth. And you're right, sometimes on this journey of going to the Pina Colada beach or going to the jellyfish beach, you wind up in a place where you don't expect, right? Which is what we're going to deal with. Our first heart actionable of the week is determine if it's information or an exercise. Now, sometimes this can be hard because you end up on the jellyfish beach, but you really want to be on the pina colada beach, and you start to kind of shame yourself for being there. Cut it out. You are on the beach, you are conscious, you are stepping in, you are creating movement forward. It's okay, right? Your job in creating ownership and patterns of belief are to determine what is new information and what is old information, right? So as you've done some of the work and you've stepped in and you have your mantra that says, I am connected to that essential truth, right? I am strong, I am capable, I am lovable, whatever that essential truth is that leads you to the pina colada beach. If you have created ownership for that, right, or working to create ownership for that, an exercise just has you walk down the path. Right? So if you're determining if it's information or an exercise, the exercise is there to make you walk down the path. You can't bypass the exercises, right? The universe is going to bring them in. It's conspiring in your favor. You may think, why am I still at this place where I have to deal with this? It's because your heart capacity isn't strong enough yet, right? Your path to the pina colada beach isn't fully beaten down yet. You haven't completely owned it. So if you're utilizing an exercise, you know your mantra, you know your truth. You just have to choose it. When you're on that path, one way or another, you have to consciously go, okay, I am lovable. And you walk down that path. Right? And you are utilizing the exercise in front of you. You're working with it. You're not shooting yourself. You're not punishing yourself. You're not trying to be anywhere than where you are. You're utilizing the exercise, right? And then sometimes you have to go, okay, I'm at the jellyfish beach and I don't know why. And maybe it's because it's new information, right? In that determining factor, right, determining whether it's an exercise or new info, if it doesn't resonate with your mantra, if it doesn't resonate with what it is you've been working on so far, chances are good you have new information at your hands, right? And it's just time to dig in, get curious, and start creating ownership for the limiting belief and the truth that you're trying to create movement towards, right? So as you're stepping in, no judgment if you're at the jellyfish beach, just figure out if it's new information or it's an exercise to get you to own what it is you already know as truth, okay? And that moves us into heart actionable number 2, create a mantra. So whether or not you've created a mantra and you're moving and you're working to create ownership so you can go to the pina colada beach, or if it's new information and you need to create a mantra, this is how you do it, right? You find that limiting belief, and then you find what it is that is the opposite of it, right? If you're feeling weak and you can't do something, or you're feeling completely unlovable and the jellyfish beach has you shamed and unfocused and uncentered, your job is to go, okay, so what is that feeling? And then what is the truth? Boil it all the way down, right? As far down as possible. I'm lovable enough. No. Farther, 12 inches down. I'm lovable enough. I think that's up here in the mind. Yeah, okay. It's not a mantra. The mantra's got to be strong. I am not just lovable, right? Take it down deeper. I am love. I am it incarnate. I am it completely in every cell of who I am. I am love. Mantra. Do you see how strong that can be? And the great thing about a mantra is it helps you consciously choose which path you're going to go down, right? I'm unlovable. That's jellyfish beach for sure, right? I am love. has you right over there with the pina coladas. You're sitting under an umbrella, basking in the fact that you are love. Got it? So these mantras are super useful, not only figuring out if it's new information or an exercise, but it actually helps you create ownership for that choice that you might need to choose, which beach you go down, right? And then this leads us to our third and final heart actionable of the week. Own it and celebrate. You're on the beach. No matter where you're going, you're conscious and you're moving and you're working towards creating ownership for your story and your life. You're at a beach. Whether there's shark-infested jellyfish, crazy water, or pina coladas, you are there. You're there. Create ownership for the truth and then celebrate it when you get it, right? If you are having to do a new mantra, if you're having to step into a new level or layer of truth, that means you probably got the last one, right? Create ownership for that. Drink the actual pina colada, be it virgin or leaded, right? Celebrate these victories. If you've got girlfriends that you're talking about this stuff with, which I hope you do, girlfriends and guy friends, I made it to the Pina Colada Beach and I am going to frickin' celebrate. Who's with me? Like, I know that I am love, right? Celebrate it. Celebrate it for yourself. Celebrate it with the people around you, your tribe of people who you utilize these tools with. Create ownership and then don't forget to celebrate, right? So let's go over them again, right? So you determine if it's information or an exercise. No judgment either way. You just determine A or B. Then you create your mantra. Whether or not you're creating it from scratch or you're creating ownership for it again, you got your mantra, you know what it is you're working with. And then you own and celebrate. You keep walking down the path and you celebrate every time you get there. That's what this is all about. It should be joyful and it should be exciting. And share it with your friends. I love that this viewer is passing it along, creating a language and creating ownership for herself in it. It's amazing and miraculous. So if you have questions about this or any other video that you've seen or just questions in life in general, leave your comments below or email them to me at awakeningtoyourstory.com. You can leave the comments there or email them to me at alicia@awakeningtoyourstory.com. I am so grateful that you sit at the table of humanity with me. Your essence of love and expression of truth and creation of life are more valuable and tangible to all of us than you know. So keep on keeping on and doing the work and seeking and creating movement in your story. And until next week, know that I am wrapping you in love, and I cannot wait to see you again. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.